Banished from Earth Classic Game Room broadcasts from the Intergalactic Space Arcade on its never-ending mission to review everything. Welcome to Classic Game Room. I've reviewed Birdass on the Atari 2600, the Atari 7800, PlayStation, and a bunch of other game systems, but I've never reviewed Birdass on the NES until now. This is JOUST. It's ironic reviewing JOUST on the Nintendo Entertainment System because I grew up playing JOUST on the competing Atari 7800. That's right, Atari 7800 Pro System fans represent. We're everywhere, lurking in the shadows, making fun of your Nintendo when you're not looking, and sometimes even when you are. But JOUST on the NES is no laughing matter. In fact, it's really very good. I don't know if it's better than the Atari 7800 version because, you know, I'm biased, but it's a really good old school home console version of JOUST, no doubt about it. So, why am I calling it Birdass? Well, for those of you new to the show, you don't really joust with the enemies, you land on them with your giant bird ass. Birdassing bad guys one ass at a time. I totally talked myself into a corner on that one, but then listened to the edit and I'm like, oh yeah, that works. That works really well. Just like the one-button control scheme used in JOUST. Flap your wings, ask somebody. It's the egg wave! Time to score some crazy points, and I think some of you may know this answer better than I do. What game have I reviewed more than JOUST? Is there one? I'm not entirely sure if there is one. Maybe Robotron, but JOUST is on the NES, Atari 2600, Atari 5200, Atari 7800, the PlayStation, and Xbox 360. I may have covered the arcade machine, I actually don't remember. I definitely reviewed JOUST 2 and find that to be an improvement over JOUST 1. JOUST 2 is really underrated and extremely rare. JOUST 1, however, can be found everywhere, for everything, anytime. I think it's even on the Gamecom. Skip that version. And the 5200 version is also not worth playing. Thank the controller for that one. If you're still living in the 80s or just seriously collecting for your your NES, JOUST is best enjoyed two-player with a friend on screen at the same time, killing enemies with your bird ass. Ass-tastic. One might call this game bird-ass-tacular. I've reviewed this game at least 5 or 6 times and find that I have nothing left to talk about except the badonkadonk of flying ostriches. That's what's happened to this show. It's gone so far downhill that it just rewrote the hill and it's back on top. So, once again, I have another Classic Game Room shout-out and thank you to send all the way to Mark in Fresh Meadows, New York. Hey, Mark! That's a great name. JOUST. And Mark's pretty good, too. The NES is more than capable of reproducing this 1982 arcade classic, and I highly recommend it. Unless you're playing the Atari 7800 Pro System, of course.